last time. We attempted Pokemon Emerald Kaizo Nuzlocke and we got our ass kicked. But today's a new day. Today we deserve to win. We deserve to beat Pokemon Emerald Kaizo with advanced Nuzlocke rules. This game is absolutely a Kaizo. One of the toughest games that I've ever played. Pokemon are level 100, they've got annoying movesets, including Destiny Bond, Self-Destruct. They have Lumberries. But guess what? We don't give a fuck. We're gonna win this game. Now the rules are very simple. If a Pokemon dies, it faints. If it faints, it dies, same thing. No items in battle, that's already an in-game rule, but I have to say that for some comment section fuckers. Okay, third one is no hacks or exploits, and fourth one is one Pokemon per route and no repeats. The rules are gonna be in the top left corner if you want to check it out anytime during the video, and if you want to say that I have not listened, not abided by the rules, then you can just check the north left corner of the video. We start off by naming ourselves Brat, and we pick up Mudkip because face the truth, he's the best. We defeat him, zig them pretty easily, and we name our Mudkip Aragon. Next up is a battle against Trainer May. Very simple, 2 tackles, got us a victory. Next up is a catching session. We catch Puchiana, name it Bilbo, then Meowth, name it Gnarl, then a Mareep, name it Mary, and then last encounter is a Cubone, which we named Sam. Also we had a Teddiursa, going to be named Gondor. You guys understand the theme, Lord of the Rings. Next up is a Magma fight. We take Magnemite down with Mud Shot. Coughing is next. We stay in with Aragon. We go for a water gun, it protects itself. Another water gun takes it to 1 health, literally 1 health, and yet another one takes it out. Houndour is next. I just go and finish it off with water gun. Next up is Bagon switches to Bilbo. Bilbo just uses secret power for the knockout. Duskull is next. I stay in and I go for Bite. Also, you guys can see death counter in the bottom part of the video, and you can just see the number of deaths that I received in this game. Next up is Red, and we start off by taking his Eevee out with Mud Shot. Bulbasaur is next. I switch into Bilbo, go for secret power, taking it out in 1 hit. Next up is Pikachu, I switch into Sam, the Cubone, and we go for Dig to take it out. Squirtle is next, and I switch into Mary the Fluffy. We go for a Thunder Shock before flinching once, and last up is Charmander, so I just switch into Aragon, the strongest Pokemon on my team, and use a water gun for the knockout. We grind our team to level 37 for the first gym batch, because I ain't gonna take any risk here, because last time the first gym knocked most of my Pokemon out. But this time, as it is a new day, we have a new spirit, and we're gonna beat Roxanne the Nerd. Okay, so we start out with Aragon, and we just start going for Bubble Beam. Nuzlocke goes down. Lileep is next. I just stay in, just go for Bubble Beam for the knockout. Next up is Anorith. I again stay in and go for Bubble Beam. Relicanth comes out, shares the same phase, this time with Mud Shot. Shuckle is next. Bubble Beam for the knockout. And Lunatone comes out, and another Bubble Beam for the victory. Simple match. But guess what? This game will become much tougher. Spoiler alert. Next up we catch Makihuta, name it Gimli. And the fight is against Aqua Grunt. We start out with Aragon, take Dratini out with a Rock Slide. Next up is Tentacool, switching to Mary, go for a Thunder Punch for the knockout. Barboach is next. I have to switch, and I switch into Gondor, the big Ursaring. We go for a Brick Break for the 1-hit KO. Snorunt is next. We stay in, go for another Brick Break. Voltorb is next, and I switch into Sam. We go for a Bone Rush, doing an immense amount of damage and taking the Voltorb out. Next up is Caravana, I switch into Mary, and I go for a Shockwave for the knockout. Pretty simple. Next up is Trainer May, and I start fighting her with Aragon, Rock Slide for the kill. Grovyle is next, and I switch into Gnarl, Shadow Ball, And guess what? The rest of the battle is just me shadowballing everyone. But if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please do that, and also like and turn on the notification bell, because then you guys will be informed whenever I upload a new challenge. You know the drill, just go and subscribe. Next up is Trainer Broly, Leader Broly. So we just start off with Aragon, we go for a Muddy Water for the knockout. Hitmonlee is next, and we also take him out with a Muddy Water. Hitmonchan shares the same fate. Meditite shares the same fate. Poliwrath though hangs on, but we take it out with another one, so very simple. Hariyama is next, and we also take it out with the Muddy Water, same thing. At this point in time, we are really strong. We catch a Mawile named Elrond, the Granite Cave stuff, and go to Slate Mode and fight the Aqua Grunt. Pretty easy, take out Shelter with one Rock Slide, take out Lomber to red health, and we take it out again the next attack. Crocodile comes on, I switch into Mary, one Shockwave for the knockout. Staryu is next, stay in, Shockwave, god damn it. And then Vigoroth is next, stay in, again, it's a Thunder Punch for the knockout. Then Grind will just stay in and it's Thunder Punch. Girl now attacks us, she's got a Why Not. I just start out with Aragon, Muddy Water for the knockout. Smoocha, Muddy Water for the knockout. Chincha, Muddy Water for the knockout. Or use Tackle. Okay, cool. Next up is Wilmore, I stay in, Mud Shot. Clamperl is next, Muddy Water. Dratini is next, Mud Shot. Pretty simple, as you guys can already see. Now the Aqua Grunt, Aqua Leader, comes and threatens us, a kid, and runs away. No cops in this game. Okay, but next up is battle against May, and we take her Plusle out with a Mud Shot. Then I switch into Gnarl for Grovyle. I just go for a Body Slam. Charmeleon comes out, and I have to switch back into Aragon. Muddy Water for the knockout. Pidgeotto is next, I stay in. Go for a Rock Slide for the knockout. Crocodile is next, I stay in. Rock Slide for the knockout. I'm tired of saying knockout again. This time I'm going to say take you down. Mud Shot, and we take Nidorina down. And with that, we have beaten May. Now we fight Broly, who has a level 70 rolls. But it's very simple, Muddy Water is enough for the kill. We catch ourselves a Phanpy, and we fight Watson. This one is okay, it's not very hard. We start out with Mud Shot, take Jolteon out. Ampharos is next, I stay in. Go for Mud Shot. Again, Ampharos goes down. Lantern is next, I stay in. Go for Mud Shot, it goes down to 1. Raichu is next, I stay in obviously and go for another Mud Shot, taking it out. And Electabuzz comes out and Mud Shot. Pretty simple. Manectric is next, I just stay in. He goes for a Crunch, but I take him out with a Mud Shot. And thus we defeat the old man doll in the electric farm. Next we catch a Spoink and name him AJ. We catch a Torkoal, name him Nick, and we fight Red. We start off with Aragon again, and we take his Pikachu out with the Muddy Water. Venusaur is next, I go for Ice Punch, takes him to red health. Now I switch, he makes us fall asleep by switching to Bilbo. He goes for Synthesis, I go for Poison Fang. He goes for another Synthesis, I go for another Poison Fang. He goes for Giga Drain, and the last Poison Fang taking to red health. And another Poison Fang is enough for the knockout. That's all. Next up is Espeon, and I switch into no one. I stay in, and I make a mistake here. I go for a Crunch, he go for Signal Beam, 3 HP. I just survived. Next up is Snorlax, and I have to switch now because my Bilbo is destroyed. So I switch into Gondor, the Ursaring, because obviously we need to fight a bear with a bear. Couple of Brick Breaks on Snorlax. He goes for Snore. Pretty good. I go for another Brick Break. We go to red health, but the last Brick Break takes it out. Blastoise is next, and I switch into Mary. I go for a Thunder Punch, but before that we get hit with an Earthquake. Hits us with another Earthquake, but a Thunder Punch is enough. And I don't know why we're slower than a Blastoise with a Tortoise, and we're maybe like a giraffe. I don't know why. I just go for a Rock Slide on Rock Run Charizard, and then Sam goes to Yellow Hill, so I switch into Aragon. Very good decision, I might say, because Sam helps us later on in the game, and he would have died in this incident. But we defeated it without any casualty. Next up is the battle against Maxi, the Tobias of this game. He's a fucking asshole, you guys can see why. He starts out with fucking Wedge Steel, Tobias, but we got an Aragon and it goes down to 1 Earthquake. Houndoom is next, we stay in, Hidden Power hits us, but we take it out with the Muddy Water. Next up is Crobat. I switch here into Mary, and we go for a Thunder Punch before we make him poison, but he then paralyzed, but he then goes down, so who cares. I switch into Bilbo as he sends out Playdoll. I just go for Crunch, a lot of damage, go for Earthquake, little damage, and one more Crunch, ends the game for the Clayman. Next up is Just Flops. I go for Crunch, get hit with a Shadow Ball, he goes for Rest, I go for another Crunch, and we take it out. Next up is Alakazam, and this is where Bilbo dies. Bilbo was old anyways. We get hit with the Fire Punch for the knockout. I switch into Gondor, and I go for Facade, and also my death counter has gone up from 0 to 1 due to the death of Bilbo Baggins. Next up is Flannery, and this is a difficult gym. We go to sleep all of a sudden, and we switch into Mary, because the sunlight is there, so he can just go for Solar Beam whenever he wants to. So we've got a maximum weakness in this gym. I go for Thunderbolt, but he then goes for Hypnosis. We go to sleep, and then Overheat has Recoil, so he goes down. We go for Rock Slide on Charizard, taking Charizard out. Next up is Basic, and I stay in with Sam, and I take the risk with a Bone Rush. Next up is Arcade, and this was a mistake. He goes for Solar Beam, I survive with just 10 HP, and Bone Rush is enough for the knockout. For Typhlosion though, I switch into Gondor. We get hit with a Solar Beam, but Double Edge does a lot of damage, and we take it out. And Cosform is next, and another Solar Beam hits us, but a Double Edge finishes the job, and we defeat Flannery without any casualty. Next up is Norman. We start out with Gimli now, because our Mightyena died, and we go for a Vital Throw for the knockout, but not before getting hit with a Crush Blow. Swallow is next, I switch into Mary, we go for a Thunderbolt, taking it out. Next up is Tauros, and I switch into Gimli. I go for a Vital Throw to take it to red health. Espeon is next, and we hit the Vital Throw on it, which does okay amount of damage. We then go for a Double Edge, and we take Espeon out. Snorlax is next, and I switch into Gimli. We go for a Superpower because I've got no other opportunity here, and we take it to 50 health. We go to 50 health ourselves, and we take Snorlax out. Next up is Tauros, and I go for Double Edge and go down. Next up is Slaking. I stay in, go for Double Edge. It survives with 1 HP, and he takes us out. God damn it. We take out Slaking with the Bone Rush though. Death counter goes to 2 with that. Next up is Aqua Admin, and we go for a Thunder Punch on the Milotic for a knockout. Then we get hit with the Drill Run, but I still go for another Thunderbolt for the knockout. Dragonite is next, and I switch into Sam for the Rock Slide. Jeez. But then I realized something. The Sam's ability is Rock Head, so I don't have Recoil. And then there is Double Edge on our moveset. I used it later on in the game. But here we switch into Gondor, we take out Hypno. Medicham is next. I stay in, get hit with a Brick Break for the knockout. So I lose my bear. It's okay. We go for the Thunderbolt on Medicham and take it out. Next time is Shuckle. Thunderbolt Paralyze. Another Thunderbolt. It goes for Toxic. Then Rest, stalling me out completely, but I don't get stalled out. Spoiler alert, we take it out. And with that, we defeat Shelly. That's her name. Okay, next up with fight, I think May. And she has a rain dancing, surfing Raichu. Game is fucking broken. Nidoqueen is next, we go for Muddy Water for the knockout. Next up is Sceptile, and I switch into Elron. I go for a Poison Fang, doing a lot of damage. He goes for Thunder Punch, but we take it out with another Poison Fang. I switch into Mary as she sends out Feraligatr. I go for a Thunderbolt, and we take Feraligatr out. Clefable is next. I go for a Thunderbolt, doing a lot of damage. It goes for Ice Beam, and I go for another Thunderbolt, taking it out. Okay, we are now level 75, and we are now ready for the Flying Tie Fortress City Gym Leader, Winona, and a double duo legendary team. Actually, we think we are ready, we're actually not ready. We have to get our ass kicked in this gym. We were doing so good before this, but we get our ass kicked here. I start off with Aragon and Mary. Go for Thunderbolt on Zapdos. And I go for Muddy Water. He goes for Psy Attack on Aragon, and we take Zapdos out to a Thunderbolt crit. Flygon is next, and the Rock Slide doesn't do that much damage, because Flygon is a Dragon and a Ground type. But the Earthquake is a crit, second one, and we go down. Mary goes down. I switch into Elron now. Go for Ice Punch on the Flygon, taking it out. Crobat is next. I go for Ancient Power and Muddy Water, but I do not realize that my Aragon is down due to a Giga Drain because he was at very low health. I switch into Sam now. Earthquake, super effective on Eldron. Eldron goes down. I switch into Gimli. We hit it with the Rock Slide. Crobat goes down as well. Next up is Articuno and Moltres. Two fucking legendary double battle against us. We go for Rock Slide on both of our Pokemon. We get hit with the Sky Attack. And thankfully, Moltres hits our Sam instead of hitting Gimli, which would have caused Gimli's death. And we take the legendary lady out. We then pick up Absol from the next route. Also, we trained our team to level 90. They've got pretty good moves at the moment. Also, I trained AJ the Grumpig, and Key or C the Garchomp, and Nick the Torkoal, and Lumers the Absol. Next time is a battle against May. So I go for a Double Edge, and here is when I realize that I have ability Rock Head, so I can just absolutely abuse Double Edge now. Ampharos is next. I switch into C, go for an Earthquake for the knockout. Next up is Nidoqueen. I stay in, hit with the Earthquake, Ice Beam, and then we get an Earthquake for the knockout. Next up is Feraligatr. I just go for a Head Smash, and we are in red health. And we switch into AJ here. It's pretty strong at the moment. We go for a Psybeam for the knockout, and Charizard is next. And I stay in, go for a Psychic, doing a lot of damage. He goes for Dragon Dance, and another Psychic takes it out. I mean, this game makes you realize how good these Pokemon are, because I would have never used a Grumpig if not for this Let's Play. This game actually makes you realize how good these Pokemon are. But again, in this game you got extra good movesets, whereas in normal games you don't have that. So that's also a thing. But then we capture a Pidgeot, and it's time for Maxi number 2. Again, traitor to Pokemon Universe. Starts up with Tyranitar and Sunny Day for the Solar Beam Cheese. We take it out with a couple of Bone Rushes. Next up is Gengar. I switch into AJ, go for a Psychic for the knockout. Flygon is next. I switch into C, or Ki, whatever you want to call it. I go for an Ice Shard. He goes for Solar Beam. I go for another Ice Shard, taking Flygon out. Arcanine is next. And also, guys, if you're watching till now, then share your best Pokemon stories that you have right now in the comment section, because along with that, C got destroyed due to Head Smash he used on Arcanine, but we also took Arcanine down, so love you, C. Then up is Executor. I switch into Pidgeot to go for a couple of flies for the knockout, but not before missing one, so this game is cheese. Also, guys, where was I? I was telling you guys to please go in the comment section right now and tell me your best Pokemon story, and tell me a story in which you use a Pokemon whom you don't like, and then after the use of that Pokemon in the Let's Play, you'll start loving that Pokemon. Also, by the way, I caught a Crawdont from my next encounter, and it's time for the Aqua admin. And did you realize that there are no Magma admins? The only leader in the Magma group, and in Aqua we fight 2 admins. Okay, anyways, we switch into AJ for the Machamp. We take it out with Psychic. Kingdra is next. I switch into no one I stay in, because obviously nobody on my team can fight Kingdra. Next up is Dragonite. Again, stay in and go for Psychic. Hidden Power hits us, but another Psychic takes Dragonite out. Here you can see how strong AJ is. He's a Grumpig, but he's strong. We go for a Vitaltron the Taurus from a Gimli, and we take it out. Next up is Wailord, and we get it with an Ice Beam, and we go for a Vital Throw and a Superpower for the knockout. Next up with Tate and Liza, and they start out with fucking Latios and Latias. Again, I realized today that how good Crawdaunt is from this battle. Anyways, I go for Shadow Ball on the Latias, Latios taking it out, and then I go for Ice Beam on the Latias. Next up I go for another Ice Beam on the Latias, and I go for a Shadow Ball on the Gardevoir. The Gardevoir goes down, Medicham comes in, I go for an Ice Beam and take Latias out. Jirachi comes in, again another legendary. I go for Crab Hammer on the Jirachi, and I go for Double Edge, and I actually get hit with Signal Beam where we take it out. Next up is Starmie. I go to Yellow Health with Crawdaunt, and it is such a good Pokemon that I have to switch it, and I switch it into my Pidgeot. And I go for Shadow Ball on the Starmie, taking Starmie out. Next time I get hit with a Brick Break, but I go for Fly as well as Double Edge. Double Edge takes it out, we get a bit of recoil, and we win. Also, I understood how good Absol is. I always wanted to use Absol, it was so cool, but I never got a chance. Now this fight, Steven is an absolute pushover. He couldn't do anything to any of his Pokemon. He was going for, I think, he just took, I don't remember, but he was going for Fly on all his Pokemon, and I was just taking everyone out. He was doing absolutely nothing. He was just flying and flying and flying, but the main thing I was doing, and I took all of his team members down. He did nothing. Steven is a bullshit Pokemon trainer. Metagross is lost, and I switch into Sam, and I go for a Bone Rush. Bone Rush is much stronger than Earthquake is apparently, and we take it out. Actually, in the normal games, Bone Rush has an accuracy of 85, but here it's got an accuracy of 100, so it's way stronger. Next up is a battle against the Aqua leader, Archie, and he starts out with a fucking Raikou in the middle of a raid, who has Weather Ball. Who made this game? We take it out eventually though, and we switch into Crawdaunt and go for a Crab Hammer for the Metagross, and it goes down. Next up is Dragonite. I go for Ice Beam here, taking Dragonite to Yellow Health. He goes for Thunder. We survive and get paralyzed. I switch to AJ. Extreme Speed hits us. We go for Psychic after one more Extreme Speed, and Wailord is next. I switch into Lumers, and I go for Mega Horn, doing a lot of damage. She goes for Amnesia, and one more Mega Horn does the trick. Next up is Suicune. We do a Mega Horn and another Mega Horn, and we take it out. Next up is Snorlax. I stay in, go for a Superpower for the knockout, and we defeat Archie. And it's now time for the game to be over. I don't want to comment into this battle. Just see yourself. You see for yourself. This battle is just destroyed. I have no one who can fight against water types, and we go into water type gym and we just completely get destroyed. We completely get obliterated. We have no more respect left. I just don't want to talk about this. And this is the end of my Emerald Kaizo run number 2, but I'm not sad because we did much better than the last time. We went much further than the last time, and in the future, in the distant future, but in the future, I'm gonna attempt to beat this game again, and maybe that time we can actually make it to Elite 4. Also, Ding Dong Games, another fellow YouTuber of mine, is attempting this game at the moment, and I don't know whether he succeeded, but if he did, I'll be really happy, because now it's not me winning the game, now it's anyone winning the game with Nuzlocke rules. I mean, nobody has won the game with Nuzlocke rules. So many YouTubers, Zuigo, Quick GG, Ding Dong Games, nobody has won. I just want people to win now. I don't want me to win. I just want people to win. I mean, I want to prove that YouTubers have the strength to beat this game with Nuzlocke rules, because nobody has done it yet. And with that, we have fighting out. So thank you for watching Emerald Kaizo Nuzlocke run number 2. If you enjoyed this, subscribe, like, and turn on the notifications icon, bell icon, and I'll see you guys in the next challenge that I do. So bye bye for now. Goodbye.